Hello, everyone, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Tuesday, April 24th, 2018. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Mike Oxlong.
And please remember, everybody, you can help support this show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet, picking up some merchandise from the link in the description, sending us stories to talk about, even if they're not newsworthy. Reddit.com/r/iRedditcast, or by email, which is iReddit@mjolnir.media. And this show goes live Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Alaska time on Facebook and YouTube. Although today it is 6:30, and that is because today I was supposed to have a tiler coming by. We do rent this place, and we found that part of the grout in our tile in one of our bathrooms was starting to deteriorate, and so we are worried that water was leaking into the wall. So the landlord came, ripped up the bathroom, ripped out the tile, found out, yes, water was leaking into the wall. Luckily, we caught it early enough. He replaced the wall and then was going to have a professional tiler come by today at 6 to give him an estimate. So he's like, he'll be there at 6.
So how does one become a professional tiler? Do I have to, like, be born with the name Tyler, or?
No, I think you just have to get, just start a business and try and actually do that whole shtick. Anyway, so he's supposed to come at 6, and he's like, it'll take 5 minutes. Well, 6 o'clock is here, and I'm like, you know what, we don't need to set out that we're going to be late, because if he's here at 6, it should take like 3 minutes, 5 minutes maybe for him to measure it, and then he's going to send the estimate to my landlord. Well, 6 o'clock's here, 6:10, 6:20. About 6:25, my landlord texts me and says, hey, by the way, the tiler canceled. He will be back tomorrow at 6. So?
Wait, he said he'll be back tomorrow?
Yeah.
So he was there earlier.
I don't know. But, in any case, we might have a late show tomorrow. I don't know. I have no idea. So, either way, that's why we are late today. If you catch the live show, if you don't, well, then I'm sorry for filling your ears with a minute worth of nothing. Because I'm the worst. But, I missed what your last name was, Mr. Mike?
Oxlong.
Mike Oxlong.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. How are you today, sir?
Realizing I didn't open the show notes.
Nice.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, you did.
I did.
Way up there in the chat.
It's just above my updates that I sent you.
I'm real tired. I just want to go to sleep. I've only drinking a pot and a half of coffee, and I'm still fucking tired.
Don't you have D&D after this, though?
Is today Tuesday?
Mm-hmm. Fuck. So, yes.
Fuck.
Are you DMing today and have planned nothing?
No, I'm not DMing.
Okay, well, that at least helps.
Though I came up with another idea for a session. It's going to be in 1930s New York, so during the Great Depression.
Sure.
And it's going to be a horror campaign about demons.
Ooh.
Essentially, the big whole plot is that this kid that they're trying to help, who had survived like a cult,
Okay.
actually has a demon of fear put inside of him. So whenever the kid is around people, he is like always afraid. So he oftentimes asks them what they're afraid of. And then when he falls asleep around them, the demon manifests in the thing that they're afraid of.
Beautiful.
And then there's going to be a couple endings. There's going to be the good ending where you don't die and the kid survives somehow. There's going to be the neutral ending where you lobotomize the motherfucker. And then there's going to be the bad ending where you kill him.
Nice.
And the worst ending where you all die.
Perfect. I'm aiming for that one.
We all die?
Are you are an anonymous platypus today, sir?
Nice.
Nice indeed.
I'm multiple, though. I'm platypi.
Whoa. So
Platypuses.
I'm good. I had a good day today. We have a new person starting tomorrow that I get to train, so that should be interesting. Work went pretty smoothly. I know I commented on this probably 8 months ago when I recently got the promotion that I'm in, but the amount, the pacing and the workload between being a front desk assistant to being a back office paralegal that does their own reports is so different. So different. Like, the first half of the day was mostly me actually helping the front, but the rest of it was me getting one report written.
Oh, congrats.
And that's considered a productive day.
I would say so.
Yep. I have 16 to go. If I can get at least one a day done, I'll be on time, actually.
That's real unfortunate for you.
That said, I am losing the next 3 days to training, so... But, I mean, if I don't have to help the front, then I'm actually I should be able to get 2 a day done, which is great. It's weird. It's weird. Because when I was a front desk assistant, I was like, man, my day, like, I have like 90 million things to do today, and I could get them all done today. And as a paralegal where you have to actually, like, write the reports and stuff, nope. Nope, that's not how that works anymore.
No?
Nope. It's quite strange.
Weird.
You want to talk about some news?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, cool. Let's talk about some news then.
5,
President George H.W. Bush is in intensive care.
This is submitted by Eskimo Brother 319 to our news.
So the former president of the United States of America is 93 years old. His wife, America's grandmother, Barbara Bush, passed away recently. They attended the funeral along with several of the other former presidents. The current president, Donald J. Trump, was not there, but his wife was in attendance. She had a wonderful time, I should point out. But mere hours...
That's a weird thing to think.
What?
Someone's having a wonderful time at a funeral.
Well, there's lots of pictures of her genuinely smiling and stuff while talking to, like, Obama and the other presidents.
Yeah, it's because she's not around Trump.
It's because she's not around Trump. Did you see the GIF and video of her, like, trying to get away from him so he wouldn't hold her hand?
Yeah, hashtag save Melania.
Yeah, hashtag save Melania. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so mere hours after the funeral took place, former President George H.W. Bush actually had to be taken into intensive care. He is still currently in the hospital. We do not have a current update on his status. This doesn't terribly surprise me. He's had lots of health problems, and also when you have very old couples that have been together for a very long time and they are extremely loving and attached to one another, very, very common is it that when one dies, the other one starts to decline, die normally within a year.
There's like a word, there's like a name for it.
Maybe.
It's like heartbreak something or other.
I don't know.
They talked about it in the comments in this one that you have here.
In the comments on the subreddit post?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I can try and find it real quick. Unless you're already on it.
No.
Okay, well, I mean, I can pull it up. I'm already in there. I just have to find the comment. Let's see. I worked in hospice for about 20 years. This is more common than many may realize. One case, the wife died, then the husband, then the dog, then the cat. Each one day apart. Damn.
Oh. Fuck.
It's interesting you should say that. My grandma's dog died about a week after she did. I'm trying to see if there's an actual term for it that you were talking about.
I want to say there's a blue link for something
I found it.
Was the thing.
What is the biological explanation for this? The stress on the heart muscles caused by extreme grief, also known as stress cardiomyopathy.
Mm-hmm.
Also known as broken heart syndrome.
Yeah.
So it's what killed Padme.
No, what killed Padme was horrible writing.
It's what killed Padme.
Horrible writing.
Damn. Heavy comment from NDA says no social media. When a spouse of 73 years dies, most of your story also dies that day.
Damn.
Yeah.
Brutal.
That's a very, very heavy comment. So, as morbid as it is, I don't expect George H.W. Bush to be around much longer because at this point he probably doesn't want to be.
I mean, if that. Again, it's probably a sticker. He's been in and out of hospitals recently anyway.
It's also for his heart, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, may not just be him giving up.
But it could also be that.
Yeah.
4,
Newly discovered Amazon reef is 6 times bigger than previously thought.
This was submitted by Wagga Maga to Our Science.
Wagga Maga. So the Great Amazon Reef that is actually originally thought to be this extension of coral reef that's a little bit away from the mouth to the Amazon River. I don't know how we miss things like this, but anyway, they went and put further research into it and searched the area.
I mean, because there's a lot of portion of like the Amazon forest in general that we really haven't gone through.
You know,
we're We're still finding like tribes of people that have never contacted other civilizations whatsoever.
I understand that. Like, that doesn't make that much of that's not that surprising to me. The thing that is surprising to me is that the mouth of the Amazon River is where we are finding this coral reef. Like, that's not in the Amazon. That's where it dumps into the ocean. Like,
well, where else are you going to expect a coral reef to be?
It's not that I wouldn't expect it there. It's that I am surprised that we didn't know it was there. Because when
you don't have money in certain spots,
I suppose
you're not going to have a lot of research.
But we did find that the Great Amazon Reef System, instead of being several miles out from the mouth of the Amazon River, actually extends all the way in to the mouth of the Amazon River. And there's where the problem is. One, that's great news. Coral reefs are incredibly beautiful ecosystem and environments, and there's an extremely large amount of species that flourish thanks to coral reefs. The problem is that discovering that it extends that far, it actually extends into areas that have already been approved and currently have active oil drills on them. So now we have to go into the Great Amazon...
Tell them to fucking leave, right? Oh, never mind.
Here's the problem. The Great Amazon Reef System is a protected area. This now technically extends that protected area into areas that we have already given approval and allowed them to.
Do you just strip their approval?
I don't know, and that's where the question comes in. Is like the scientists that did this said like we would like the oil companies to remove their equipment and stop drilling here for the sake of the coral reef. The oil companies are like, we already got approval to drill here. It's not our fault that you didn't check the area good enough.
I feel like this supersedes the oil companies, but I'm more for the ecosystem than they are.
Right, I understand, and I'm very much in the same boat. But when it comes to how this works legally, don't know.
I guess it depends on Brazilian law.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure it'll come down to it. But the concern now becomes is that if something happens to the section of the coral reef that is at the mouth of the Amazon River and near these oil drilling sites, it could affect the entire Amazon reef system.
Yeah, so this is where you point to the Great Barrier Reef, and be like, yo, that shit died because of this fucking shit.
So, it's a really awesome discovery, and I hope that we make good choices.
It's been great seeing it.
It was great that we found it before it's dead in 10 years.
10? Wow, that's really liberal of you.
5.
It's getting closer.
Well, the Great Amazon Reef System isn't as harshly affected as the Great Barrier Reef. It hasn't experienced as much bleaching and things like that, so it's not as much of the coral is dying. So I figure it has to catch up a bit on that matter.
I don't know. I don't know the biology of coral, so
I don't either. I'm not
tell you.
3.
United States eases sanction on aluminum firm tied to Russian oligarch.
Of course it would. Submitted by Kogit 4C to Our Politics.
Shitty headline is shitty, okay? So the aluminum company is called Rusal, R-U-S-A-L, and the Treasury...
That sounds Russian.
The Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, so the people that put the sanctions on this company, said that they will alleviate the sanctions. They won't completely remove them, but they will ease them under the condition that they completely remove their connection, ties, everything with that Russian oligarch.
Okay.
So it's not that they are just easing sanctions on a Russian oligarch that has the aluminum firm. They're telling the firm, if you get rid of him because he has very direct ties to all of the corruption that's happening in your government, we will make it easier for you to sell things.
Okay, so all I have to do is really just like draft up some papers and then pretend he's not there.
Right.
Gotcha.
Which, I mean, I don't know if, like, on an official public stance, that might work, but at the same time, depending on how that aluminum company is set up, it literally might be, okay, you don't have a say in here anymore, but here's my cell phone.
Yeah, really.
So,
I mean, he could still be making all the decisions.
Yeah.
But whatever.
But it's a decent notion, I guess, a decent action, a decent...
A gesture.
A gesture of, like, Not only on our end of like, we will make it easier on Russia if you just get away from the people that we believe are bad people. And it's a good notion on their end of trying to mend relations from Russian companies to the United States government.
That's fair. I just hate all of this like super strong nationalization. I'm much more for a globalization kind of feel.
We might get there eventually, but it will probably be by some evil corporate superpower.
Come on, Disney. I know what you're poised to do.
You know,
You've been teaching us about this with your movies all along.
like who would it be?
Fox News?
No, they don't have anywhere enough power, following, money.
I would say Weinstein, but that's already dead. What about the Warner Brothers?
Maybe they're not as big as Disney though.
Disney, no.
And like
Google?
Disney,
But like Disney and Google seem fairly lawful good.
so maybe like Apple.
Yeah, there you go.
Like they're still are they still the most valuable? No, I think Amazon just passed them. Amazon.
Ooh, yeah, you could put Amazon out there. They're like the way they treat people is apparently real shit.
Chadwick says Trump news. Funny. I mean, there's also other random companies that are absolutely massive, like the Mars company.
Yeah, okay.
Tesla / SpaceX.
I doubt that, but I mean, they are developing flamethrowers. So
Facebook.
there's that.
Chadwick says Facebook. I don't.
Facebook, yeah. Well, I mean,
I think they
that's
just
already happening. Yeah,
I think they just ruined their chances of being able to take over the world at this point.
yeah.
Rachel says definitely Google.
Oh, I mean, they were taking over the world, Michael. We just caught them.
Right. So still Google then.
Yeah, because it's hard to catch Google.
And really, it's Alphabet, because Google is just a large piece of an even larger beast.
The Illuminati.
Yeah, it's Google. It's Google. Speaking of...
What's the name of the like company that owns all the local news stations?
Sinclair Broadcast.
There you go, Sinclair.
Speaking of tons of money and making people do what you want...
2,
Money Talks, a $1.2 trillion fund manager, is about to pull investment from companies that won't act on climate change.
It's submitted by Tickle My Neutrino to Our World News.
So this is a United Kingdom firm that there is one dude who calls the shots at the top of it, and they manage the assets of $1.2 trillion in investments.
Good God.
Helena Morrissey, who is the head of personal investing at this company called Legal & General, said that they will be naming and shaming companies next month and will be pulling their investment from companies that do not begin to take actions against climate change.
Yo! That's amazing. That's what we needed.
Jesus.
You'd think that climate change would be enough to pull the world together, but it was almost there.
The only reason that it's not is because, one, it's not very clear that it is a threat to us right now, and solving climate change hurts a large number of companies' bottom lines.
Well, yeah, they're being dickheads to the climate.
But power to these people and this person for using their power to try to actually get better things done in the world. Because we are already nearing a point where it is too late to act on climate change. We are already having erratic weather around the world. Something needs to be done sooner rather than later, and people like you and me can't do anything about it. It's the companies that have all the power and money that are the ones that are actually able to solve this problem, instead of just be 80-year-old rich assholes that live off of their money, die, and then leave us the shattered husk of the world.
And we're working on fixing that, you know?
We're
At least
trying.
they're working on fixing it for the next generation.
Andrew in the chat room says, yeah, but as soon as it starts losing the money, how fast do you think he'll be shown the door? One, it's a she. Two, I don't think they will, because they're the ones that manage the investments. If they can still prove that the people that have put $1.2 trillion in their hands, that they can still earn a return from companies that aren't these companies, then they'll be absolutely fine. Because that's what this company is. It's, I have a shitload of money. Here's my money. Make my money make me more money by investing it in things that'll give me a very large return. And so they're just going to go, well, we don't have to invest in these. Sure, they give a return, but we have these other options that aren't assholes.
And they'll invest in those ones instead.
Yeah. So, I don't believe that there will be any recourse for this company. And also, with the way that the world works, if they do start naming and shaming companies, the companies they're naming and shaming will be the ones that come under fire.
Yeah, because they're shaming them.
And because that's how the world works now, is you start just throwing people's names onto news bulletins and saying all the bad shit they did, and bad shit happens to them.
You know what else is weird? How, the world has changed so much just in 2018.
Yeah, it continues.
It's it's weird.
I agree. So, hopefully this results in results, but we'll see.
1.
Van strikes numerous pedestrians in Toronto.
Yeah, hold up real quick.
Okay.
Also, if they're not investing in those companies, then they still retain that money that they would be investing, so they're not losing money.
And also, if a company is being named and shamed, then that company itself is going to lose popularity, value, and income, which means no longer investing in that company means that you will not be losing money.
Right.
So, yeah.
Anyways, so number 1.
Van strikes numerous pedestrians in Toronto.
This was submitted by PM Your Polders to Our World News.
What is a polder?
I don't know.
I don't either. Either way, so there are 10 people dead, 14 injured, 15 injured. The number kind of keeps on bouncing around a little bit. A white rental van mowed down pedestrians along a very busy street in Toronto Monday. The incident happened around 1:30 p.m. The person who was driving the vehicle has been found and caught. He is currently being charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder and 14 counts of attempted murder.
So you know that thing that happened in Louisiana too, the Waffle House shooting?
Yes.
My friend lives 2 roads down from that place.
Damn.
Yeah. She was driving by it as the police were there responding to it. She didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Crazy, right? So, as of this point in time, that's about what we got in terms of this situation. We do know that right before this happened, the person that did commit the act went onto social media and was praising a former a mass murderer that went out and killed a whole bunch of people in a vehicle, gun, and knife attack for that one. So he had bad role models. Is the best I got. Either way, they did get the driver. They got the suspect. They know it's him. He has been indicted. He is being charged. Unfortunately, that does nothing for the 10 people dead and the 14 people injured.
Yeah, he's kind of already done his damage.
But fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I also had a conversation with somebody today because if you don't, I don't want to give credit to people, and I'm not going to say this guy's name or anything, but he was a member of a couple specific groups, okay? And it wasn't common ones is how I'm going to describe this, because I don't want to I don't want to point fingers at any group of people. And it's not like Nazis or anything like that. It is just a group of people that are often made fun of on the internet. But anyway, he was a member of these groups. And so I have a friend that was on social media that was like, yeah, I'm not surprised, her-ba-da-ba-doo-ba-da. And this person is a member of another group that is trying very hard to not be shat on by the world. And I had this long conversation with them today about, just because it validates your opinion on a group of people, you should not do that, because all you are doing is further breeding discrimination around the globe. Yes, you may not like these group of people, but they are not inherently bad people. They're just different than you. You don't agree with them, but if you're like, it doesn't surprise me because he was this, you are they may not be of a particular race, they are instead of a walk of life, but at the same damn time, you are still causing the exact same problem that you yourself fight.
And in fact, you're breeding it more, because those people hear what you're saying about them, and it pushes them more closer to one side than the other.
Right, and if this guy was a member of your group instead, then and someone was doing that, you are now wrapped in with this person. Because if it was exactly the same way, you would be wrapped in with every single person of your walk of life that has done anything negative.
Mm-hmm.
So don't do that. It doesn't matter necessarily what their walk of life was. what matters is that in every single walk of life, there are extremists. Massive ones. There are extremist Christians, there are extremist atheists, there are extremists in every single facet of society. Whether it's a style of government, a religion, a sexuality, etc. There are super extremists in every single one of those. And because of the news, we see them more often than they actually than you would otherwise. They are a rarity. I would say like 1 in 10 million is this extremist. But because of the news, we see them, the 1 in 10 million pops up, we'll say, once a month, and so we see the one a month that pops up. But that does not mean that the rest of people from their walk of life are that way. And when it comes, and sure, you can be like, well, of the 10 people this year that were the crazy psychopath massive murderers, 3 of them were from this walk of life. Sure. That doesn't necessarily still say that you need to discriminate and be against everyone from that walk of life.
Absolutely.
Chadwick says he's not a fan of moral relativism. We should be able to call out evil when it's evil. Identitarians are cancer. He's not an identitarian. He is... like I said, I don't want to point directions to a group of people that don't deserve to have fingers pointed at them. So I'm not going to. And on a very different note also, and like this is a completely side argument that I'm not going to add anything into this at all. It's just a point that I like to bring up, is that the concept of good and evil are matters of perception that are perpetuated by society. If we had for the last 2,000 years said it's perfectly fine to murder your neighbor every Friday, today's society, that's evil as fuck. If that was the norm, what we're supposed to do, what society had taught us, no one would think twice about it.
Mm-hmm.
You are taught what society deems as good and evil. And yes, there are, by society's definition, there are some groups that are evil. The walk of life that this guy was from was not necessarily evil. Just because you don't agree with it doesn't make them evil. Anyway, shall we move on, sir?
Yes.
Cool.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Listener submission. California bans National Guard from executing Trump's orders at border.
This is submitted by Chadwick via email.
So, Trump wants to dispatch the National Guard to the border, and the governor of California, Jerry Brown, said, fuck you. Not quite in those words. He initially was agreeing with Trump, but then backed out of that and forbid the assignment as he viewed that it was too tightly closed to immigration enforcement. He basically saying you do not dispatch the military to try to shore up immigration. You do it for militaristic reasons.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was not a fan of him deciding to put people on our border like that, and I still am not a fan.
I don't think it'll be effective, and I think it's a waste of time and resources, especially... I don't think he understands where the vast majority of illegal aliens come from.
They get in legally, and then they just overstay their visas.
Yeah, they just don't leave.
They're not hopping fences constantly.
Sure.
They're not digging under the fence constantly.
Sure. You do, you have the fence, and there are people that do that, but the vast, vast majority of illegal immigrants in the United States came here legally at one time and either didn't get their visa renewed and didn't leave, or just didn't even bother to try and didn't leave.
Yeah, I don't get it. There's clear-cut evidence and everything.
Yeah. I honestly think, maybe I'm giving him a little bit too much credit. I think he knows that. Instead, what I think it is that he wants to build this massive wall along the border, because then it would be the massive wall that Trump built.
Yeah, of course.
It would essentially be a monument to him.
If you want to really understand Trump more, just take a few moments of your day and watch 3 or 4 episodes of The Trump Show, which is a Trump documentary TV series on Netflix. You'll understand.
It's really about him. is what it is.
It really is. And Chadwick in the chat says Obama, Bush, Clinton, and Reagan all deployed the National Guard to the border. That doesn't mean I don't disagree with that shit. Like then too, it's probably not necessary for all of those.
Yeah, it is unnecessary, and it does very little. If there is a security reason in terms of like a threat to the nation or a military concern, sure, but that is not the reason that Trump wants to send the National Guard to the border. So,
narcissism is the answer to most things when it comes to that man.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
Nathan, what did you care about in the last 24 hours?
That Ash versus the Evil Dead was canceled, and Bruce Campbell says he's retiring. Bruce Campbell says he's retiring as Ash.
This was submitted by Bunyip Pouch to our television.
It's really disappointing.
Yep, no more Ash versus the Evil Dead. It has been canceled. There will not be a season 3. Is that what we were looking for?
No, it would be season 4.
4, okay.
Yeah.
And
this episode, was it yesterday or the day before Sunday? I think it was Sunday. It's either the last Sunday or this upcoming Sunday. It's the last episode.
So that's it. No more of that.
Disappointing. I mean, there's no more of him being Ash.
Would it be the same if it was somebody else?
I mean, would it be the same if somebody else was Wolverine? No, but it's going to happen.
Would you still be interested in it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was interested in the Evil Dead movie or remake that didn't have Bruce Campbell anywhere on it.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I haven't not followed the series that closely, so.
It was all right. It was a decent slasher flick, but I don't know.
I don't know either. I honestly have no idea what the fuck I cared about at all. Yep.
Maybe your damn time being wasted.
Yeah, right. I was really annoyed because I went ahead and made food because I was like, I guess I'll make myself some fucking hot dog while I wait. But
some hot dog. Is that it?
Yeah, that's all I ate was 2 hot dogs.
Wow. That's all right. That's definitely more than I ate when I got home.
That's fair.
I ate 2 slices of bologna and some raisins.
Good work, friend. Good
Eventually, I'll be able to eat.
Eventually, maybe. One day. But otherwise, what else did I care about in the last 24 hours? I got trolled by an April Fool's joke today because never.
It was the Darth Maul one, right?
Yeah, the Fury of Maul. Yep, definitely got trolled by that. That was a really well-made trailer. Fuck you guys for making.
No, it
that.
wasn't.
What?
There's one dead giveaway in that trailer that you can tell wasn't something that would occur.
Was it the I will finish what you started?
No.
What?
It was the dead female stormtrooper with breasts for armor.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look that closely.
Stormtroopers don't, Captain Phasma never had breasts.
It's true.
I mean, I'm sure Captain Phasma actually had breasts, but not breast armor. They just make armor.
Right, I understand. So, fair. But either way, I was like, that looks fucking cool. And then I was like, I have not heard this anywhere else. And then just, typed it in. They're like, yep, IGN's April Fool's joke from 2 years ago. I'm like, man, fuck you guys.
Yep, get destroyed.
Yep, totally got destroyed.
So, there's that.
Oh, I got something that you will care about a little bit anyway. So, we still have Sunday D&D and stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'd recently gotten everyone to watch Danmachi, Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? And while we were sitting around talking about shows and stuff, Josh asked, well, what other shows should I watch that you have watched recently that you think are good and worth watching? And I was like, well, you could watch Made in Abyss.
Oh, you whore.
And
why would you do that to him?
He hasn't watched it yet, but Zach watched it.
Oh, God. Zach, I'm so sorry.
And it was probably about, it was at this point about an hour and a half ago, Zach into the group chat goes, holy fuck, episode 10 of Made in Abyss. What the actual fuck? And I was like, shh, 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 shh. Not in public. You might scare others away.
We have, the people in this house have this little, in joke when it comes to that show. So the part where he's yelling over Rico's arm and he's like, Rico! Right?
Yeah.
So if you've ever played Pokemon Coliseum and you've gone against Mirror B, you notice that his theme goes Rigo.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So like
Every time?
every time it's just Rigo. Da, 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 da.
What's even better is that because the beginning of the show is kind of nice and, cutesy and stuff.
Yeah, right.
And he had a couple of days
some weird shit in it.
a couple days ago he
was strapped naked.
A couple days ago he had been talking about like, I kind of feel like this is like something like Studio Ghibli-esque, like if they made a series.
Oh.
And then he got a little bit farther into it. And he's like, this is no longer Studio Ghibli. This is fuck you and your pleasant time.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
I've watched it like 4 times now. Speaking of weird fucked off anime that you should watch if you haven't, Higurashi When They Cry is amazing.
I will put it on the very, 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 very long list.
Yeah, but like you should put that like right now because like I went into it not knowing anything about it, and that's the best way to go into that.
It's true. It's the best way to go into most animes. But at this point in time, we're going to get the fuck out of here.
The first 4 episodes, just that. Watch the first 4, and you'll understand a good portion.
You ready to go? Yeah. Cool. All right. Everybody, we will be back at some point in time tomorrow. I can't tell you what time because, damn it. Anyway, otherwise, though, please consider supporting the show. Patreon.com/dailyinternet. If you can spare 1 cup of coffee a month, $5, please send it our way. Help this show grow. Help this show survive and live. Otherwise, 5-star reviews on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play help us immensely because it helps other people find the show, and maybe they will give us a cup of coffee. Also, if you want to try and get other people to give us a cup of coffee, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, all of those are at iReaditCast. Follow and share us there and see if you can get other people to follow us and see if they'll give us a cup of coffee. We appreciate you. And, of course, if you would like a sweet T-shirt, go to the merchandise link that is in the description below. We will be releasing a new shirt probably on Monday, and we are going to be looking at releasing 2 shirts a month instead of 1, but that just depends on how much actual design time I want to take. So we'll see what happens on that, but there will be a new shirt on Monday. So, that's it, everybody. That's your 462nd dose of the Internet. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Mike something?
Long.
I forget. Oxlong, that's right.
Yeah, Mike Oxlong.
Yep.
All right. And please remember, everybody.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
Have a good day.
Bye.